Once it hits your lips, it's so good.
Hello, hello, hello!
Hello!
And welcome to yet another Two Drinks In.
As you can tell, we're rocking the mugs instead of the typical can or bottle or whatever.
It's
mixing it up.
Mixing up. And of course I got this wonderful Korea Kote and Yonsei mug.
I got the Batman!
You just had the Batman. Here, today we're going to talk about a subject that will forever be perplexing to my heart rather than near and dear to it. Now, you haven't taken world religions yet. That's probably going to be one of your elective classes.
Oh, most definitely.
You're going to study Buddhism and most likely Hinduism. The core concept of Hinduism is what's called Atman, which is true self. The belief that you're not who you think you are. That the true self is entirely different from the illusion that the world presents to us. You're not James, you're this other self. And through meditation and devotion, you can find out that true self. Buddhism actually teaches what they call anatman, which is the not self. That there is no true self. That in fact, nobody is a self, that there's only one real consciousness, and that's only through the illusion of the world that we actually believe there's any individuality to begin with.
That's pretty some deep stuff. I can understand that. Wait. Okay, like I feel stupid, but is Buddhism the one like branched off Hindu, or Hindu branched?
Most certainly.
Okay.
You have to have Atman before you have Anatman.
Makes sense.
There is all the tenets of Buddhism is trying to understand and prove the not self.
Yeah.
You probably know it as moksha or enlightenment. The point where you fully realize that you are not an individual and that there is no individual self. You become enlightened. And they teach that the Buddha was the first person to figure this out, and that's why he's the Buddha.
Yeah.
Now, there's many different tenets of Buddhism. I'm sure there's some people out there saying, "Oh, you got this totally wrong." But there is one particular branch of Buddhism that originated in Japan, that they believe the path to enlightenment is not through charity. It's not through meditation. It's not through abstaining from worldly pleasures. It's actually through riddles. I'm pretty sure you've heard...
What's in my pocket?
That's not a riddle. That's a question.
Wait. Let me put this ring in my pocket.
There you go.
It's a ring. Ha! It's a Hobbit reference. Go ahead. Have we even established what we're talking about yet?
Yeah, we're getting there. We're
building up.
We're building it. We're
change the channel.
Change the YouTube channel.
Ooh. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Now, there is a particular branch of Buddhism originates from Japan. I'm sure you've heard things such as, what is the sound of one hand clapping? If a tree falls in the woods, does it make a noise?
Okay.
Now, you probably didn't realize these actually originate from Japanese, and from this particular branch of Buddhism. They believe that to truly understand that there is no individual self, you do it through these riddles. You understand the limitations of language, the limitations of communications. There is no word for the sound of one hand clapping. There's no concept for a noise that's created when no one can hear it.
Well, it's sort of like, it's kind of an overused cliche, like in love movie, it's words can't describe how I feel. And in a sense, it's true, because you can only, especially since how we overuse certain words like hot. Hot doesn't feel like an ultimate compliment anymore. Or it hasn't ever, really. I mean, it doesn't seem like that. And of course, my personal opinion, I mean, beautiful is definitely up there, but even that is used in a lot of other things. So to express one's feelings about how they feel about someone, how they believe they look or act, it's very difficult to put into words because the vocabulary is so limited, and it's pretty interesting stuff.
There's an entire religion branch based solely on this concept. This idea that language and communication is too limited. It's far too limited, and that must prove that there is no individual self. Now, of course, I don't go that far. Of course, we are Christian, and so we believe that language is imperfect because man is imperfect, and you add in the complications of Tower of Babel and everything else. language will never be perfect. We'll never be able to completely and accurately communicate.
Words can't describe God.
No, words can't describe eternity. Heck, you read Revelations and see what it sounds like when a man tries to describe heaven. There's like angels with 1 million eyeballs. Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Revelations is John.
Sorry. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Sorry.
Props to James for correcting him. But yes, Paul wrote like a lot, 90%. No, Paul wrote a good bit of the New Testament. But Revelations wasn't one of them.
Yeah, he did all the letters. He did Acts, or Acts was mostly about him. We're pretty sure he wrote it.
Yeah, at least parts of it, anyways. And Romans, obviously, yeah, you said all the letters.
Yeah.
Which is a good bit of the New Testament. Anyways,
sorry about that.
We still not said what this is about.
So what this is about is, why can we never say what we mean? And I don't mean this just in the it's physically impossible to accurately describe what it means. Like you said before, words can't describe it, or
words. Yeah,
you use words that are very inaccurate at describing it. I tell my wife I love her every day, but I also say things like I love Pokemon. I use the same word, but the love I have for Pokemon and the love I have for my wife are very different.
Well, not only that, but like, honestly, the whole big joke about men saying women want us to lie to them when they say, this does make me look fat. I mean, even using that as an example, we never say what we mean. Like, myself, I never, ever say what I mean because my personality is very much a peacekeeper. So if I spoke...
Thanks, Dad.
If I spoke my mind, not only would I have even less friends, I already do, but I would be a completely different person. And that is not saying, he's pretending to be someone else. No, it's called self-control and being able to hold my tongue. But a part of it is that I don't want to say what I mean. I don't want to say what's on my mind. And that's practically how everyone is now. It's kind of... being politically correct is very much driven into our heads. To not really say what we mean, to say what's correct, to say what won't offend anyone, which of course is impossible. You're going to offend everyone. Like right now, by saying we're Christians, you're going to offend somebody.
Yeah, we're going to, having started this video talking about Buddhism, I'm sure we offended somebody.
Buddhists, we probably offended Hindus. I'm pretty sure Muslims are in there. Like, hey, how come you didn't mention us? Well, I just did. You're welcome.
We are all inclusive. And of course, the Taoists are going, what about it? Okay, just calm down, Taoists.
Taoists. It's fun to say. Either way, so it's out here. Religion in general is a very, very big topic to step on some toes. We'll put it that way. See, again, that's being my mind.
Never say what you mean.
Because you have to say it in a way that is acceptable, which is a way that's understandable. I mean, yeah, you can't say what you mean. You can't say what's on your mind.
So there's a lot of different angles. So the angle I started with was the physical limitations language, and you came up to the angle as the societal limitations to language.
Yeah. What is acceptable to say?
And this is crazy how the whole point of language is communication, and when you
limit ourselves through that communication.
Exactly. I saw a Twitter post just recently that said. If you say no homo, then you're being offensive and you deserve to go to hell. And when I read that...
I'm going to hell then. I say that a lot.
I say that a lot. And the first thing that came to mind was, a majority of the time when you say no homo, it's because you say something that can be misconstrued and you want to make sure that what you're saying and what you're communicating is fully understood. And so when we're at the point where we're saying you can't clarify your communication if it might potentially offend someone...
Yeah. Well,
what's the point of communication?
Honestly, gays, homosexual, however we're going to recall it, because there's so many different names for them now. I can't keep them straight. Honestly, if you want to say very homo, I will accept this. In fact, I'll probably laugh with you. Or if you're not laughing, I won't laugh. I mean, whatever. I will accept this. I make a comment that I think Channing Tatum's abs are very amazing. No homo. I say that a lot, okay? Channing Tatum's a very good-looking man. No homo.
He is no homo.
I'm not gay. Great, big pause. Really, Jamie. But hey, I'm not as straight as a circle. Shut up, Jamie.
But that's the whole point of qualifying communication. But when you put things like you can't qualify or correct your communication if it might potentially offend me, then that creates a whole new barrier to saying what we mean.
Yeah, I'm not gay. No, seriously. No. Okay, the YouTube video, Bromance, the music video with Nigga Higa, Chester C, and all of them, super funny. I love that. But
Google it right now, or YouTube it.
Yeah,
you're already on YouTube if you're watching this.
It's super funny, but even they have to clarify it because they're singing about a bromance, about two guys being super, super close, and one of the lines is, "If I loved you anymore, I might be gay." So in the chorus, and they say bromance, nothing really gay about it. Not that there's anything wrong with being gay. They have to clarify that because by saying "I love you" in a heterosexual way, it's all of a sudden, oh, okay, so it's not right to love them in a gay way. They have to clarify that so they don't get any hate. That seems pathetic.
There's so many barriers that we erect to communication, and it's not making communication any easier. It's making it more complicated, and it's making it so it makes it even harder to say what we mean, and language starts to become useless. And this might sound like an exaggeration, but it comes to the point where you cannot say what you are fully intending. You have to work around it. Even, being somewhat bilingual, I'll say something that in English the nuances can be understood. I'm not really saying this, but you can understand that I'm trying to say this. Can be communicated. Sarcasm. Oh my gosh. It doesn't translate into Korean, and I'm starting to realize that language itself is so imperfect.
Very, very much so. Like, look at the English language. It's like, okay, let's take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Ooh, this is crap in this language. Let's take that too.
Okay. I understand English is the major trade language of the world right now.
Thank God, because I'm stupid. I don't want to learn any other language.
And I'm biased. I grew up learning English. I like speaking English. But I do realize that there's several other languages out there that are pretty bad for trade languages, like Chinese. Fix your writing script, honestly. You're never going to become a major trade language unless you fix it. But then I look at English and, oh wow, our writing script is just as crappy.
I before E.
Except always.
That is the dumbest. There are more rules that break, more words that break that rule than ones that follow it. Why on earth does that rule exist?
Why don't we just rewrite the English language to be completely phonetic? Because
our school systems won't be able to work that way. No one will be able to figure it out. No one will be able to fix it. People constantly complain. Remember, change is a bad thing.
You'd have one generation that's confused, but then you'd completely lower that entire communication barrier.
Again, I agree, but at the same time, it's, you're going to get people who are going to complain about it. You'll probably never be able to pass. Plus, people are going to be like, oh, the old language is better. And who's going to decide what we change? Who's going to decide what we keep? You know what I mean? It's just like...
Just make it phonetic, and everyone who doesn't like it could get the hell out.
What about us? We're complaining about the language now. What if we're thinking that way? I mean, like, what if the new language, a couple decades from now, the people are like, this is pathetic. I before W, except after Z... What is this crap? And then, they complain. It's the same thing, and it keeps going on. I agree, though. The English language needs to be fixed. It's kind of crap, but I don't see it ever being fixed.
No, probably not. And that's sad, because as long as we have that, we'll never be able to say what we mean.
Never. Again, also, as I said before, politically correct. You just got to say things that don't offend anyone, which is annoying because I swear to God, there's new things happening every day. Okay, look. The whole, gay, homosexual, whatever, which one is less offensive?
It changes daily.
It seriously does. I don't know what to call them anymore. The people who like the same gender. Again, I don't know what to say. Anyways, that wasn't that big of a thing growing up.
Romantically challenged?
Yeah. When I was little, we called each other gay meant happy. Gay literally meant happy to us. And then slowly it became like, you like men, you're gay. And it slowly became a thing. And then all of a sudden, they're all coming out of the closet. I mean, they're everywhere. So it's like
coming out the closet.
You can go to the closet. Anyways, so there's several different religions we have to work around not to offend anyone. The atheists, you got to work around not to offend them as well. Yeah, I'm throwing you in our group. Shut up.
Atheism is a religion. Accept it.
No, but no. Even if it wasn't, which it is, just still the fact that we have to work around some things because they're offended. We work around Christians because they're offended. Muslims are offended. Hindu, Buddhist, whatever. Point being, everyone in religion offended. People of a certain race, offended. People of a certain sexuality, offended. Transvestites, everyone. It's like...
Everyone is offended at all times.
Exactly. So,
and this is creating hindrance to communication. It's limiting our ability to talk to each other.
Yes. My thing, personally, is... Okay, I can understand. Like, saying certain words is very unacceptable.
There's certain words that always get under my skin. Like, as much as I laugh at it sometimes, the F word always makes me feel Makes me cringe.
Again, I think it's just the way we were raised. But yes, my skin always crawls every time I hear that word. But again, and there's obviously other words to describe certain races that are very, very wrong. And there's certain things you say that is very offensive to certain religions. But if me and my friend are goofing off and making a joke, and I use the word gay, yes, that could be offensive. But the thing is, gay never meant that before. Gay meant happy. You stole that word. You cannot be offended by a word that you stole. If I said he's homosexual, you can get offended by that. But if I call him gay, you stole that word. Shut up.
Well, again, it creates conflict in communication when you want to say what you mean, and the words that we use to describe it are imperfect, and they mean too many different things, and they have too many different connotations, and just it's. Again, it goes back to language is imperfect. Like we said, there's an entire religion based around this fact that language is imperfect. That should show you how messed up communication is, from a global aspect, from a humanitarian aspect. And I guess that'll be it for tonight for Two Drinks In. I have no idea if Jana or Jojo or James or James, Jason or Jared or anyone ever had these thoughts or contemplated this,
or if they'll even watch it,
or if they'll even watch this. If you watch this, comment below that you watched this, so I know you watched this.
If you watch this, you must send me a Facebook message that says the swallow falls at midnight. Falls, not flies. Mind you, falls.
And we will give you 3 internet cookies if you do that.
30 cookies? But no, I want to touch on one more thing.
Oh, one last thing.
I was like, just kind of back off what I was saying about the whole, gay, homosexual, whatever. There are certain things and certain words that you say that people are like, oh, that's very offensive to me. And it's like, I don't see how. This is getting very annoying that I have to change the way I talk, change everything. But on the other side, like the word retarded, I can see how that can go too far. Camp Park. It's a camp that helps the mentally challenged. It's nearby. I volunteer, not at the camp, but I volunteer like the fundraisers and everything. I have a lot of friends who volunteer at the camp, who work with people all the time. So I understand that. I understand that retarded, like...
Well, even in the word retarded itself means to hinder.
Yeah.
To be hindered. So,
again, the original isn't necessarily whatever, but still, I slowly cut that out of my vocabulary because that is something that I can understand that. I don't want to hurt them because they're the group of people that are being hurt the most. Although the people who are most offended by it are the ones who don't know jack squat, probably don't even have a relative or anything, and they're just like, oh, that's very offensive to me. Shut up.
Yeah, I agree. Well, again, if you have your own opinion, your own ideas on this, please let us know, and we hope to hear from you soon. And of course, I have to go because my lovely wife just got home.
My lovely wife.
Well, certainly. So, yeah, we're waving.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever said something in Korean on the show, have I?
Probably now.
So I'm gonna say goodbye. Okay. 안녕하세요. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, and that also means bye. All right, talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye bye.
You're so gay. Shut up.